Hello and welcome to our English News Bulletin broadcast to you from Canal Algérie. First, to the headlines. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, extends his greetings to the Sahrawi President, Brahim Ghali, on the occasion of the 46th anniversary of the proclamation of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. Important guidelines given by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, to speed up the national investment process during the periodic meeting of the Council of Ministers. The situation is still tense in Ukraine amid bilateral talks to end the war and avert further human casualties. The national football team manager Jamal Belmadi urges the Desert Warriors to do their utmost to win the upcoming World Cup playoff game versus Cameroon to secure a berth in Qatar 2022. Good evening, those were today's top stories. First in our news, and following the death of an Algerian national in the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv, namely Talbi Mohammed bin Abdel Mun'im, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, extends his sincere condolences to the deceased family, praying Allah Almighty to welcome him in his vast paradise. The President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, sent a message of congratulations to Brahim Ghali, the President of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic and Secretary General of the Polisario Front, on the occasion of the celebration of the 46th anniversary of the proclamation of the Sadr. The President of the Republic presented on the occasion his sincere congratulations and best wishes to the Sahrawi President, to the leadership of the Polisario Front, and to the brotherly Sahrawi people. The President of the Republic added that the creation of the Sahrawi Republic on February 27, 1976 was an important step in the course of the struggle of the valiant Sahrawi people to regain their legitimate national rights. It is worth recalling that the Sahrawi people has gained huge respect and solidarity on the international scene thanks to its determination to continue its fight and win its right to self-determination. Furthermore, the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, reiterated on the occasion Algeria's unwavering solidarity with the fair Sahrawi cause and their right for independence. The head of the state showed once again his willingness to work together and consolidate the brotherly relations between the two countries so as to meet the aspirations of the two peoples for peace, prosperity, and progress. Important instructions were given by the President of the Republic, Abdelmajid Tebboune, during the periodic meeting of the Council of Ministers to speed the national investment process so as to meet the citizens' aspiration. A recap of this meeting with our reporter, Melissa Kebash.
During this meeting, two draft bills related to media and the audiovisual activity alongside presentations made by different ministries were discussed. The meeting kicked off by a presentation made by Prime Minister Ayman bin Abdurrahman concerning the outcome of the government's activity in the last 2 weeks, while the mediator of the Republic presented his periodic report according to a recent presentation on the development of the status of pending investment projects in recent weeks, namely the lifting of restrictions on 19 investment projects, while 21 other projects entered into exploitation, which allowed a total of 431 investment projects to be operational. Following these presentations, President Tebboune tasked the Prime Minister to coordinate with the Minister of Finance and the mediator of the Republic so as to complete the last pending consultation files and prepare a final report map concerning investment projects that have been lifted from restrictions in all the provinces of the country. Foreign Affairs Minister, for his part, gave a presentation on the President of the Republic's trips to both Qatar and Kuwait. President Tebboune expressed his satisfaction following the high level reached by the bilateral relations with the two countries. The head of state then instructed the government to establish a committee for the preparation and daily follow-up of large investment projects with partners in Qatar and Kuwait in different sectors. Therefore, other directives were given by the President to the following ministries. For the Minister of Transport, the launch of technical studies to extend railways and their network from the north to the Great South. The Minister of Housing, the launch of technical studies so as to renovate the capital's waterfront and modernize the infrastructures of Skikda, Annaba, Constantine and Oran provinces. The Minister of Agriculture prepared better conditions for the embodiment of promising investment projects and numerous job opportunities in different fields, namely in the production of milk, red meat, oil and sugar. President Tebboune also assigned the Minister of Labor to respond to the concerns of our community abroad in the best way possible concerning their benefit from retirement. In implementation of the President's commitment with the Algerian community he met in Tunisia, Egypt, Qatar and Kuwait. The head of state also reaffirmed the preparations made for the building of a modern hospital as part of an Algerian-Qatari-German partnership alongside other projects in the port sector. He also assessed the work made in the opening of a maritime line with Mauritania and ordered the opening of a similar one with Dakar. The President also appreciated the efforts deployed during the preparations at the Mediterranean Games, calling for stepping up these efforts to involve the local civil society in Oran province and its surroundings, so as to prepare for the success of this important sporting event. For his part, the Minister of Health made a presentation which revolved around the necessity of adapting a modern management system within hospitals that responds to the citizens' aspirations. The protection of health security is a priority that should be important between different actors. The necessity of finding new ways of cooperation in the field of medical care, especially for difficult cases, by bringing doctors within medical missions from highly developed countries. Regarding the presentation of two draft media and audiovisual bills, the head of state expressed his satisfaction with the major progress made during the preparation of these two pivotal laws and the democratic reform process that our country has been witnessing for the past 2 years. In this regard, the President of the Republic instructed the government to continue enriching these two projects by guaranteeing the freedom of expression, especially concerning the granting the status of a professional journalist and the standards of upgrading the quality of media services, as well as ensuring transparency of media funding. At the end of the meeting, the Council of Ministers approved a presidential decree authorizing Algeria's contribution to the 12th reconfiguration of the resources of international funds for agricultural development, in addition to a number of individual decisions related to the appointment and the duties termination of high officials.
According to a communiqué released by the Foreign Affairs Ministry, a coordination meeting was held with the ambassadors of Romania, Poland and the Hungarian representative in Algeria, during which they evoked the possible ways of the crossing of the Algerian nationals through these countries and how to facilitate their return to their home country. The communiqué added that Algeria is closely following the situation of its nationals in Ukraine. For their part, the ambassadors showed their readiness to coordinate with the Algerian diplomatic channels to help our nationals. The Foreign Affairs Ministry recalled the Algerian nationals to be more vigilant and to stick to the security measures to ensure their safety and security in such circumstances. The situation is still tense in Ukraine, with fierce fighting in several Ukrainian cities, causing more human and material casualties. The Russian forces keep their attempts to control the capital Kiev. On the diplomatic front, talks are said to be held with Russia at the Belarusian border on the fourth day of the Russian attacks meant to overthrow the current regime. Peace initiatives are being made here and to defuse tension and put an end to this bloody war threatening the whole region. The national production present at the Paris International Exhibition through a variety of products are being displayed to attract more investors and pave the way for a sound national economy. Ines Kilou has the details.
37 Algerian exhibitors participated in the 58th edition of the Paris International Agriculture Fair. Many producers from the public and private sectors displayed a wide variety of Algerian products, including carob and its derivatives, olive oil, dates, oranges, grapes, vegetables, and dried fruits, dried figs, as well as craft products. An initiative very well received by the Algerian community as well as foreigners. I love Algerian products, spices, olives. I love everything coming from Algeria. An opportunity for Algerian operators to introduce their products in France and Europe to the Algerian community, thus establishing contacts with potential European partners to win international contracts and highlighting the local Algerian products. Through this exhibition, we want to promote our country's products, and it is an opportunity to meet economic operators from different countries. Algerian agricultural products will therefore be in the spotlight during this exhibition, which will end on March 6th.
The Sahrawi people celebrated this Sunday the 46th anniversary of the proclamation of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. However, the Sahrawi people remain determined to continue their fight for independence and self-determination with the support of a mountain solidarity wave. Ines Kelou once again.
February 27th marked the beginning of the Sahrawi state building process when the Polisario decided to proclaim the birth of the Rust after the withdrawal of the Spanish colonizer following the signing of the Madrid Agreements on November 14, 1975. Since its creation, the Rust had fought at all levels to obtain its independence and put an end to the plundering of its wealth by the Makhzen, thus deploying tremendous diplomatic efforts to make the voice of its people heard. The Sahrawi people have remained over the years committed to their fair cause, pursuing their struggle for the recovery of their inalienable right to self-determination by peaceful means until the blatant violation by the Moroccan regime of the ceasefire agreement on November 13, 2020, which forced them to resume the armed struggle. In a message on the occasion of the 46th anniversary of the proclamation of the Rust, Brahim Ghali said that the Sahrawi people do not ask for the impossible and do not set any conditions. They were forced to resume the armed struggle and demand the implementation of justice with the UN Charter and resolutions and the African Union, recalling in this regard the responsibility of the United Nations to protect unarmed Sahrawi civilians in a territory of armed conflicts and the accelerated completion of the decolonization process of the last colony in Africa. Brahim Ghali indicated that the Sahrawi state has taken a giant step in terms of the institutional building on all levels, highlighting the Sahrawi experience in the fields of administration, education, and health, in addition to the active participation of women in exceptional conditions, which has earned the respect of the international community.
Moving on to Germany, more precisely to Bremen City, where the authorities have raised the emblem of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic on the regional parliament building in solidarity with the Sahrawi people in their struggle for self-determination and independence. This took place on the occasion of a meeting held by the Sahrawi community in Germany in cooperation with the representation of the Polisario Front in Bremen, as well as on the occasion of the 46th anniversary of the proclamation of the Sahrawi Arab Democratic Republic. The Sahrawi community also decided to organize a demonstration in the city of Bremen to reiterate its complete rejection of the ongoing Moroccan occupation in Western Sahara and to denounce the crimes committed by the Makhzen regime against the Sahrawi civilians in several cities in occupied Western Sahara. We wrap up our today's news with sports. The national football team manager Jamal Belmadi held a press conference here in Algiers, during which he evoked several key issues related to the Desert Warriors, notably the preparations ahead of the upcoming game versus Cameroon as part of the Qatar 2022 World Cup qualifiers. Our sports reporter Salim Mirouh gives us the gist of this meeting.
National manager centered his meeting with the press on the upcoming game versus Cameroon to secure a berth for the World Cup final phase in Qatar 2022. To this effect, he waxed optimistic, yet he urged his players to do their utmost to be present in this major sporting event, the last one for many players on account of their age. The mission seems to be tough after a lackluster performance in the African Cup of Nations tournament in Cameroon. Therefore, the hopefuls of Jamal Belmadi are determined to be up to the level and secure the qualification for this prestigious sporting event in Qatar, which symbolizes success after winning the FIFA Arab Cup 2021.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was it for our today's news. Thank you for tuning in.